Alrighty, good morning everyone. Welcome to our regular Elbert County BOCC meeting for July 26, 2023. Welcome to those that are participating here in the room and those who may be watching online or watching the recording at a later time. Before we do the roll call, I'd like to invite Pastor Chaplain Jim Keene up to provide the invocation and lead us in the pledge.
Well, good morning, Jesus. Thank you that you're always available when we call. We never have to worry about being put on hold or shuttled off to Never Never Land like we sometimes do on our cell phones. But you're ready to listen to us. Thank you. And I appreciate the fact that we have a current board that honest and works with integrity. Give them wisdom in the things to deal with today and in the planning for the future. One of the things that's hit our county hard is all the road damage. So may that be handled quickly and efficiently. In Jesus' name we ask this. Amen. Let's pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your service to our Sheriff's Office. All right, so it's 9:02. Amanda, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Commissioner Thayer?
Here.
Commissioner Schroeder?
Here.
Alrighty, we have a quorum. First item we have on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do we accept a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, first item of business we have are items on consent. I would accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the item or approve the items on consent. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Elected officials, department head staff reports. Do we have any elected officials that want to make reports? Rhonda, no? Okay. Sean?
I believe we do have a couple here today. Troy, would you like to come up first, please?
Guys, I don't know if I come over and stand in front of you. How do I do that?
You can use the mic just so we can hear what's...
Troy LeVay, Facilities Manager. I want to honor Stan Crowley for 22 years of service.
Stan Crowley, could you
come on up,
please? Thank you.
He started on 6/18/2001. He's an asset to the county. He's probably forgotten more than we're going to learn.
Historian?
Historian, yeah. There's certain things about the buildings that I don't know if we'll ever know that he's going to carry with him. So yes, we just want to present you with the certificate of appreciation.
Thank you.
And this pin of 22 years.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Commissioners.
22 years of service.
Yeah.
Oh, can you come up real quick so we get a photo?
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to say.
Stand right over here.
just him?
Oh,
Yeah.
you can come up too.
Very easy.
That's why you.
I was going to say.
That is kind of
Yeah, local legend says that Stan was actually issued with the building when it was constructed, and we have plans to build him a small apartment in the basement when he eventually retires. So,
Good
Stan,
morning,
thank you.
Commissioners. Monty Hankins, Public Works Director. It's with great honor to introduce Elbert County Road and Bridge employee Terry Tweedy. Terry started with Elbert County Road and Bridge on May 26, 1983. Terry, you're celebrating an important anniversary this year of 40 years with Elbert County. And Elbert County appreciates your contribution to the success of our county operations, especially within Road and Bridge. People are our greatest asset, and the success of this organization is a direct result, especially within Road and Bridge, of Terry's efforts and dedication. Your commitment to quality and personal and professional integrity is one of the key factors that continues to elevate the Road and Bridge Department. Terry's abilities and contributions are widely recognized by the county residents, especially the ones of the roads which he blades. I think they know him and do appreciate him very much. And everybody who has had the honor of currently working with you and the ones who have been and gone over the last 40 years. We're delighted to honor your dedicated service and commitment over the last 40 years to Elbert County government and its residents. And we'd like to honor you with this certificate.
Well, thank you.
And the pin of 40 years of service.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, and for both. I mean, both of the gentlemen honored today work jobs that really never end. Maintenance of facilities and maintenance of our roads, and the fact that they've done that for decades on behalf of the citizens is really something to be appreciated. So thank you. Would you like to add or? No? All righty. Sean, do we have any?
I don't think we have any other staff reports. I did want to bring up something based on the feedback at the last town hall meeting. I suggest we put on the next meeting for discussion as a topic, moratoriums and the regulatory information regarding moratoriums as it has its effects, and also what that means for Elbert County. So I think we need to discuss that at the next meeting.
I appreciate that. Any comments? Yeah, I know it was loud and clear, and we did say something we should consider. So let's tee that up for discussion at our next meeting.
I think that concludes staff reports.
All righty, thank you much. Then we'll move on to citizen public comment. This is an opportunity for folks to discuss issues that they would like the commission to be aware of that that are not on the agenda today. If you have something you'd like to discuss that is on the agenda, I just ask that folks wait till that time. Amanda, did we have anybody that wanted to be called? No. Okay, thank you. And we did receive two emails. One was beyond the deadline for this meeting, but we'll take that at our next scheduled meeting. I'm going to go ahead and read the one email we got, and then we'll go to anybody in the room that has comments. But the first was emailed yesterday evening, just prior to 4:30. It's from Beverly Durant of 40968 Kiowa Bennett Road in Kiowa 80117, and she writes, there has been an abundance of community engagement in the county lately. I would like to point out a few things. Frustration. I think many of the citizens of Elbert County feel frustrated right now. They feel county officials do not listen to them, do not take action after they talk or write them, and nothing has been done to preserve Elbert County and its rural nature and traditions. I also believe you as county officials are frustrated as well. This was evident at the town hall meeting on July 19th. Sometimes you answered the questions being posed to you, other times you said nothing, and even at other times you gave the same excuses we have heard year after year. This is telling me we all need to take a moment and try to fix our problems. It goes on to say EC East did not have proper notice for the community meeting held in May of 23. It appeared to be cured, but not everyone was notified of the change in the meeting. Then at this meeting, no county personnel were there, nor was there any report to the county commissioners on what happened at the meeting. All this violates our own county rules and regulations. When the Director of Community Development was notified of this, nothing was done, and he basically said he was going to ignore this fact. At the concept brief, the developer really did not give you any information. I'm glad to hear you have asked for it to be done again. However, this developer should be required to start the process over and follow each and every rule and regulation that you as commissioners have passed. At the community meeting for EC East, there were 75 concerned citizens. No one wanted this development. I informed you of all this in a previous letter I have sent you. At the concept brief, there were over 25 people that attended, which is a great turnout considering they could not give you any comment. At a citizen meeting held after this, almost 100 people attended to find out what we could do as citizens to have our rules and regulations followed. Then at their town hall meeting, there was recently almost 110 people. How many people must attend to come before you'll take this seriously? As citizens, we must strictly follow our rules and regulations. Why do the developers not have to? Were there any personnel attending the community meeting for EC West? Did you as commissioners receive a report on what happened at this meeting? If not, again, this developer should be required to start the process and make sure all Elbert County rules and regs are followed. I believe it's time for the county to stop and take a moment to train all staff on exactly what are the rules and regulations that must be followed by everyone. Perhaps the commissioners even need to review the guiding documents and have them updated as they are required to be. This seems to be the best answer to satisfy the citizens that elected you and you as heads of the county to do the best for Elbert County. I implore you to do this for the sake of everyone in Elbert County. You are required to be fiduciaries for each citizen here, act on it, and do something. Thank you for your consideration. Okay. Do we have anyone in the room that would like to make public comment? Sir.
Good morning, Don Gray, 16,000 Highway 86. First off, I'd like to thank the commissioners for having a town hall meeting. It could be brutal at times, and I thank you for all withstanding that. Your candor about the Excel project was pretty self-explanatory at the meeting itself. At this time, I'd just like to ask if you could speak to the process of Excel, where we stand, and put it on the record at that point. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public comment at this time. Grant, does Mr. Durant's in your district? I'd ask you to kind of work with staff, and she had a few questions. I think there may be there's some assertions and perhaps some misunderstandings that can be cleared up, but obviously a lot of passion, so thank you for that. On Excel, just where we're at, yes, I think we kind of rolled through it quickly at the town hall, but on June 11th, Excel communicated to the county that they, formally communicated that they were going to seek application. So a pre-application meeting was held yesterday between them and our staff. There's that notification started a 28-day clock for the county to provide Excel all the information they would need for requirements to make formal application. So having sat down and been able to question and discuss what Excel's true intent is for the application yesterday, now staff over the next week will put together all the questions, all the information requirements based on that discussion that they feel is needed to make application. That's going to be very extensive. I mean, it's a big project. First time we've exercised our new 1041 regs, so I anticipate that what will be asked is pretty much soup to nuts. Let's make sure we're looking at everything that needs to be looked at, that can be looked at. Anticipate that responding to that to make the initial formal application will take some time. I don't know. That's really in Excel's court of how much time they will take to compile the information that's asked for. Once that formal application is initially received, there's another time clock that starts of 28 days for staff to review. If within that 28 days, based on their review, there's additional questions or material needed, they make that request. If there's nothing additional needed, then at 28 days or prior, if the county designates it, the application is deemed complete. So I anticipate, again, a project of this scope and something we haven't really dealt with before, there'll be additional requirements for information presented. But so once Excel again responds to any additional requirements or it's deemed complete, that application starts a 90-day clock for final decision here in the county, and that would include our referrals out, programming a planning commission hearing, and then a final Board of County Commissioner hearing prior to that 90-day expiration. And then at that hearing, we could approve, deny, approve with conditions, etc. If our answer isn't satisfactory, there's appeal processes that can start at that time. So I'd love to give a firm timeline. The ball it's like a game of tennis. It bounces back and forth. But I would anticipate we're many months out from even beginning that 90-day period. So when that ends, I really don't know. I think we've been fairly clear that what Excel has as a preferred route may not be what we think may be the best route. Certainly the citizens have spoken to that. So I know a lot of the discussion yesterday was you have to show your cards. It's kind of like when looking at contracts, the lowest cost is not always the best value. So how did you come to this determination that this is the route you want versus a myriad of potential other routes? So, but at least after a couple of years of staring at this potential, at least one formal step has been taken, and we'll keep people informed. So, anything you want to add?
Everything that Chris said is right in terms of the process and procedure. And just as a comment from me is that we cannot make any kind of a decision until we see the real facts and the facts as they present them. And then we can make some rational, logical decisions and guidance. But right now, there's so much of what is talked about is just talked about. We haven't seen, we don't even know the exact route. We got a kind of a hand wave of the route. But let's, I suspect some of the studies that we can require under the 1041 regulations will be somewhat time consuming. So again, I don't want to get ahead of myself here because I haven't seen the facts.
Okay, well, thanks. So with that, we'll move on to our discussion items for today. The first actually is is two items, but Monty, if you could come up, one was related to engineering studies for improvements to County Road 166, and the other was vacation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Monty Hankins, Elbert County Public Works Director. Yeah, I'd like to present to you, in 2022, Road and Bridge Public Works had on their budget plugged in some money in Fund 25 to do the full engineering workup on County Road 166 from County Road 21 to Delbert Road. Due to priorities changing that year, the current Public Works Director at the time decided to postpone that. And in the workup of the 2023 budget, due to quite extensive turnover we had in key positions in Road and Bridge and Public Works, it wasn't identified in the 2023 budget. I'm asking at this time to kind of help keep the CIP on track, that for $345,000 to be approved and or discussed and or approved to move forward with having Kimley Horn do the engineering workup of County Road 166 from County Road 21 to Delbert Road. In that engineering workup, we are going to widen the shoulders a little bit. The asphalt will go approximately 2 feet past white line in that. So it's quite an extensive thing. The price increased from the 2022 budget just due to the fact of technology and everything in the economy has increased. Part of their new processes in doing the engineering workup is this specialized drone that they fly over the site and do all these laser measurements and what have you. So that's part of that, the first item for discussion.
All right, no, I appreciate that. And I know you said there was some time sensitivity to this.
Yeah, there is
so
time sensitivity to this based on, they have to get, Kimley Horn schedules out the surveying of it. They don't do that in-house, so those guys are getting fairly booked up. For me, for the Public Works Department, I'd like to get it done to where it's done within 2023, and it takes several months to work this up so that we can look at going out to budget right in January or February, because if you wait past that, it's really hard to get asphalt companies and stuff on the docket for the summer. And as we've experienced with road subcontract work we've done in the past, we don't want to be out there in October and November because it's difficult to lay down asphalt in those months. So, yeah.
Thanks. Any questions for him? Or?
This is just the engineering study.
This is just the
and
engineering.
the design work.
Yes,
and then
sir.
the work will be budgeted in the 2024
Right.
period.
And the Kimley Horn is going to put costs, engineering costs and costs relative to the actual work so that we will know exactly what to budget in 24. We are putting a pretty healthy number in there for that. In 2024, I should also say we're only going to repave from Delbert Road to 13. And then the following year in 25, under this same engineering workup, we will go from 13 to 21.
So the plans that are worked up with this will last that long, and
Yeah.
we're no problem.
Yeah, they'll be
with
fine.
that. I think it's a great idea. I travel 166 from time to time, and I know the dirt roads have taken a beating, but some of our paved roads
Well,
have
our asphalt is way past its lifetime in this county, and that is our highest traffic road. Counts are right at 10,000 cars a day. So,
No, I absolutely appreciate you taking this on. I mean, I know you weren't in the preparation of the budget for this year, or not in the responsible position there. So keeping us on track with that transportation plan is important.
it is important.
I mean, it's so easy to slip a year or two, and as Commissioner Schroeder said, 166 needs attention.
Yeah.
I mean, so just based on the time sensitivity, I know normally we discuss and then go to action at a following meeting, but I think in order to get things scheduled and have the numbers back for both budgeting for next year and getting scheduled to actually put pavement down, I think we should move forward on this. So if one of you would like to make a motion to approve the expenditure, I'd appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the expenditure for Kimberly Horn to do the technical study for 166.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this unbudgeted expense for engineering of 166. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And then I know you had a separate, less urgent item that just on vacation of a roadway, so if you
Right.
could.
So County Road 150, off of County Road 153 out by Agate, it has not been maintained by Road and Bridge for, I would say, at least 30 years. It is not on our HUF report. There are developers looking at that area and or have purchased property and want to make that a road. I would put forth that due to the fact it's not on the HUF funds and we have not maintained it, nor are we currently taking on any more responsibility within dirt road areas, that we vacate the right-of-way on County Road 150 off of adjacent to County Road 153.
Yeah, I think more pointedly, if there is potential development and it's not a roadway maintained, a developer can build and maintain that.
Yeah.
Road is, any questions,
I mean, we could,
comments for Monty? We can take this for action at the next meeting. and
okay,
just-
yeah.
Are there any residents currently using the road?
No, there's,
It's just a road to
Right.
one of our,
Yeah.
not many
there's
anymore, but
landowners, and in the next step, I was gonna look into contacting them and having
Okay.
a discussion with them.
But it's really,
There already has been discussion with a couple of them.
okay. But no change to what we've been doing, just formally acknowledging that we don't consider it a road that we maintain, so,
Right,
yeah, okay. Thank you.
yep, thank you. Any further questions?
Nope, seeing none. Thank
right.
you, Monty.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next we have discussion on a resolution opposing Senate Bill 2303 and Proposition 108. This is one that's certainly been in the news lately, and you know, what has been drafted here and is in the agenda for discussion today is in a resolution from the board that would oppose Proposition HH, which is an item that'll be on the November statewide ballot. You know, the purported purpose of Senate Bill 303, or the language that's going to be put on the ballot, is to reduce property taxes. What it really does is very marginally decrease the increase in anticipated property taxes, and then broadens the amount of money that the state can keep in what it collects from citizens and use for other purposes. The primary other purpose is funding of schools, which, though may be laudable, was something that was put on the ballot a couple of years ago and voted down overwhelmingly. So I guess as we look at how property taxes are levied on individual property owners, there's generally three different components. There's the actual market value of properties that's determined by the assessor. There's an assessment rate that is set by the legislature that defines what proportion or what fraction of the actual market value is taxed. And then there's local mill levying authorities that like the county and 50 others within this county that levy a property tax mill. You know, we can do very significant adjustments to mills to account for increases in property taxes, and I really think personally that Proposition HH masks behind what is offering property tax relief a lot of other changes that people may not be aware of. It's certainly not very clearly stated in the question, but essentially it increases the amount of money that the state can collect and keep by 1% every year over time. That amounts to tens of billions of dollars, and what's provided on the other end is a couple of $100 million in property tax relief that can be granted locally. It over time would do away with Tabor increases and allows state government to grow tremendously without really specific votes of the people on what that money should be used for. So it kind of flies in the face of the constitutional amendment of the Taxpayer Bill of Rights that allows people in Colorado to vote on tax increases and what that money should be used for. So it's, I truly believe that it's taking advantage of a large market increase to kind of bait and switch people into taking a property tax, what they hope to affect their property taxes, which is again not very much. The assessor has done some initial review of property values coming in. If HH passes, overall property tax collections, if we don't adjust mills, will still go up by over 27%, which year over year is, it's unconscionable. I mean, though the county has lots of requirements and a lot of things to get after, accepting a 27% increase in taxes year over year is, on the backs of our citizens is not the, I don't think it's necessary. We'll see as we go through the budgeting process where those numbers lie, but this isn't just the money's there, we should take it. The government should always be a little bit starved and a little bit, we have to demonstrate our value. We shouldn't just be taking money from it because it's there, and I think that's what HH is really doing at the state level. So, you guys have any thoughts on that?
Just one question. How does that affect future Tabor tax refunds?
Over time, there is a refund coming this coming year. If HH passes, that would probably be the last one that taxpayers would ever see. So.
No, I just echo everything that you said, Mr. Chair. I think it's obvious this is a bait and switch tactic to bait people with a little bit of a property refund, and the real target here is Tabor, and I agree with the resolution in opposition of it. We can take it up in a couple weeks.
So,
I agree with the opposition.
okay, thank you. All righty, thanks. So that's really all we had on discussion for today. If there's any comments in the room on that, I'll take them. But, okay, seeing none. Moving on to action items, and I seem to have put my agenda in the middle of something else.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we open the public hearing for the new liquor license for the Patch in Elizabeth.
I will second that. I know Commissioner Schroeder had previously recused himself. My understanding is they've withdrawn the application, so I don't see any reason for you to depart, but we've got a motion and a second to open the hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Amanda, I know they've been in communication with you. My understanding is they have withdrawn the application.
Yeah, they have requested a withdrawal of their application at this time. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I would take a motion to accept their withdrawal and no further action.
Mr. Chairman, in that they have requested a withdrawal, no action is necessary. So I move that we recognize that and close the meeting.
All right.
The hearing or whatever.
Okay, so we have A motion to recognize the application has been withdrawn and close this hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Alrighty, and the second we have is update to our open records policy.
Thank you, Commissioners. Bart Greer, County Attorney. This is a policy that's been in place essentially since I've been here. There's occasional updates. We certainly try to do so on an annual basis. And typically those updates have to do with the latest legislative session. And that's the case here. There's a couple of changes to the Colorado Open Records Act, which have to be reflected in our policy and regulations associated with that policy when people make a records request. And so I have updated that policy to comport with the new laws, the new statute as it's currently written. This has been previously discussed at prior meetings, at least at the prior meeting. It's been posted for a while, and the changes are relatively minor and essentially just keeping us in line with state statute requirements. So at this point, I'd ask the board simply approve the updates to the open records policy.
Okay, thank you. Have any questions for the attorney or?
As I read it, I didn't see any material change.
There really is not a bunch of changes. It's mostly to, certain confidential records are treated a little bit differently now than previously. And so we've updated our policy and approach on those requests. My guess is there's going to continue to be updates to this. There have been in the last several legislative sessions. So, it's possible we may even get a change based on a court case. That's also something that changes what we do and how we do it sometimes. So if that's the case, I'll be coming back and asking for an update on that. But I think this subsumes within it all of the changes that the legislature has made during the last legislative session, and that's what I'm asking to be included on this.
So as I look it over, most of it has to do with what open records requests are going to require an ID or not.
Right, there's still, there's some changes associated with who can receive what, right? And of course, there's going to be certain records that we have as a county collecting taxes, knowing what people's addresses are, what taxes they need to pay, what taxes they have paid. Vital records, there's obviously we have law enforcement division as part of the county, so there is all kinds of records that we deal with, and identification and who actually is able to request what records is very important to make sure we get right, and so that is one of the changes.
All right, thank you. So, any comment or question in the room? Okay, seeing none, I would accept a motion to approve the updated open records policy as presented.
We have a resolution in our packet. Is it a resolution? Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution TBD entitled Regulations and Policy Relating to Elbert County, Colorado Open Records Act, known as CORA, the request for those.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to update to approve the resolution associated with the updates to our open records policy. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Okay, board planning. I know, Sean, you had mentioned teeing up discussion of growth management issues at our next meeting. We'll take the action on the request to vacate County Road 150. If we could just get, I think we're on track to receive our audit of 2022 at our second meeting in August, but if we can get a quick update on whether we're on track for that at the next meeting, that would be appreciated. And then I think we'll be rolling into monthly update on the Public Works facility, I believe, as well. But is there anything you guys would like to see?
Our BOE hearing.
Oh, yes, thank you. We have a statutory requirement in our role as the Board of Equalization to make final determination on requests for adjustments to property values by the 5th of August each year. We have a professional hearing officer that is hearing all the appeals. We had 2 scheduled. One had, unfortunately, some health issues that precluded him from being able to participate in the hearings. And because of this, we've had to schedule hearings through the afternoon of Friday the 4th of August. So we will be meeting and we'll get the time determined, but likely Saturday morning the 5th to review and make final decision on the hearing officer's recommendations. And then subsequently those decisions will be mailed out to the taxpayers that did request appeal. So thank you for that. So that gets us going, at least for our next meeting. We're going to recess now. It's 9:42. We'll reconvene here at 11 a.m. for our quarterly Board of Health update. So thank you all for coming out this morning.